I'll give you the link first. Yeah.
Okay.
You can share it and then we'll start talking. Is that okay?
Sure.
So I'll not
Yeah.
talk anything now. Yeah.
I'm going to go off like this.
Okay. So are we good to go?
Yes. Hi, Sam.
All right. Okay. So greetings and welcome everybody on behalf of VIT University and VIT School of Business. I am Professor Samuel, and I'm so happy to have an interview live with ANITHA DEEPAK. Uh, she is a multifaceted personality, not just one, working leader, a business coach, relationship manager, a mother, happiness coach, whatnot. It's such a great joy, ANITHA, to have you on the small interview. And above all, ANITHA started as a young entrepreneur at a very young age, helping a mother do a family business, multiplying the business, then again, studies, education. So a lot of things are there. In a quick 30 minutes discussion, let's see what we can learn something from one person who is making a difference in many people's life. So ANITHA, thank you so much. Welcome to this talk show on
Thanks,
behalf of
Sam.
the university. Thank you so much. And what's the time there? You're in Canada, right?
Yeah, it's almost noon, half past noon.
Okay. So ANITHA, with your permission, I just want to share about you first. So there we go. So let audience know who you are, what you are, and that's where it is. By profession, she is a relationship manager at Cognizant in Canada, and she's also a leader, executive coach, happiness evangelist, speaker. You will get to know when she speaks, and the objective is to make the world know that there are happy people like them, who's committed, who's working with all the challenges. Yeah, with all the challenges. And what fascinated me was she's having 22 years of experience, started too early, helping the mother in a business. And as a professor who's teaching lean startup management, I'm sure all the students were going to watch it later or live. I'm sure they'll get a huge experience of how 22 years of experience from one phase to the other. And not just in India, you can see there, she was in India, she was in North America, she was in UK, parts of Europe, and now currently she's based in Canada, working and leading a global team. And that's so fantastic, having this experience of worldwide. And it also says that she helped her mother in manufacturing and exporting soft toys to the international market, sitting in Chennai, in Tamil Nadu. So amazing thing. The beauty is she's an executive life coach. I'm sure you should definitely take some time to go through her profile. I just want to sneak through Anita's. That's her LinkedIn there, right? And what fascinated me was you just see her role. 9 years growing and growing and growing and growing, and now being a relationship manager for the whole account global team is such a great thing. So we're so happy about it. So she started so young, did a engineering and then did a MBA, and then after that there's no turning back. So without any further ado, Anitha, thank you so much for coming to the show. That's all about Anitha. And in the description down in the video, you will see it later. her LinkedIn profile, her details, so that she's being a coach. She's helping so many people live a happy and better life. So, Anitha, Deepak, could you just tell a little bit about your school background? I want to start from your school.
First,
School.
thanks, Sam. Even I wouldn't have done justice, or I wouldn't have been able to explain my journey and what I am so very well. Thank you for that. When you say school, one thing I would probably start early school and the difference that my mom brought in, right? So my mom always had this example of saying an basket of apple and you have to be in the right basket and all that. So she had an importance towards education. While most of my cousins, if you see, they went to a school nearby,
Mm.
she made sure she put us in a school which will give us larger visibility. So I went to Adarsh Vidyalaya, Gil Adarsh, which was their branch school to start with, and then Adarsh Vidyalaya, which gave us a visibility into Hindi. So she had from our typical Asian cultural thinking of let's go with what we know, our community to share. No, we have to be attached to your community, but also start thinking bigger. I think she helped spark that right front, right? So we had to even travel quite far for my school. I know many people commented to my mom saying, "Are you crazy? At such a young age, you want the kids to travel half an hour to school?" My mom was like, "No, they will learn from their environment, and I want to give them the better environment for them to learn. It's not just about the books, but it's also about the people, teachers, everything around them." So I started going to Adarsh Vidyalaya, which gave me at least the national perspective. When I say national perspective, because we had people across the nation in that school compared to the local school where I was, right? It was very focused
Mm.
to
Mm.
my Tamil Nadu specific people.
So
And
yeah, I just want to dive in straight away because I'm so fascinated. Even though you're doing engineering,
mhm.
along with your studies, you are helping your mother in the family business of export. How did it all start? How did that entrepreneurship come into your mind?
So again, probably I have to quote my mom there, right? Luckily, thank God, she set the example. She had this vision. She already broke the glass ceiling, right? Today, if I am such a confident person, I am gender neutral, right? So, some of my own peers don't consider me as an equivalent women peer. We just have conversations, and they don't realize that. Nor do I. Why? It looks like my mom brought that, broke the glass ceiling long back. So we cannot differentiate. She started the entrepreneurship, right? She started with history, and but still she made sure she learned, grew, expanded, and she wanted to do the international business. But what she helped us was, it was not just about her. She made sure she took us along, and I've known a lot of our back in India, right? When the people start early, it's just on papers. But what she did for us was, it was not on papers. We were given specific responsibilities. I was responsible for the domestic sales, though it was we were in an export processing unit, which has at least 85% export. There's still a scope for the local market. So she specifically said, you have to look at local sales. I have been a person who has been sitting in stalls, though we, have a huge manufacturing unit. I had to do make those dolls, set it up, put small stalls, set those benches, and small exhibitions and sell it. So she made sure we got the hands-on experience as well. Not just that, and so she was not just again looking limited, right? She also thought, hey, my kids, if they have to start thinking big, there were a few entrepreneurship development course from EDI, paid
Mm.
courses, expensive ones. I was just in my college, my first year of college, and she still said, college engineering is good, you need that.
Mm.
However, this expands your knowledge. So while she attended, she said, come and join. That was an eye
Wow.
opener for me to say, how much benefits, right? So it is not just your business.
Yeah.
What are the advantages? We got exposed to what innovation means, what creativity means,
Yeah.
what is addressing the need of others, right? So business is again not about you or making money. It's all about. So she helped us or gave us the exposure to
Mhm.
know, and hence I think that forum really helped us to start from there.
Wow. So the moral of the story all of us have to learn is many people just go to college just to just study and go through. But here is Anita going to colleges but taking care of the domestic business, helping mother, And it's such a great thing that doing courses in EDI at a very young age. So if that message, if people can take, people who are doing, many people study entrepreneurship, big courses padte hai bhai, but there is here one living example for us that apart from studies, had to balance family, had to help mother, all right, and also do business. So what kind of business was it, Anitha? What your
So we were manufacturing and exporting soft toys, right? So we used to
okay?
get the material from multiple other countries,
Mm-hmm.
China for a certain specific mark on the
Mm-hmm.
quality, and then Taiwan and Indonesia, and then we were doing the actual manufacturing. The unit was in Madras exhibition zone inside the MEPS.
Maps, yeah.
Then we were in export. So we were exporting into Dubai and other countries.
Wow. Then after engineering, you went on to do your management MBA. Yeah.
Yes.
What
So I
fascinated
think
you
that
to do
was
this
more of my
MBA?
father's guidance, right? When you say,
Okay.
hey, if you had started, if your mom already had a foundation, then why engineering? Why MBA, right?
Mm,
My father is an engineer, so he worked for PWD. He had his own real estate, so he was also a builder and all of that. He comes more from that science perspective, while my mom had that business aspect. So he said, you guys need a foundation course. I was more
okay.
passionate to become a doctor when I was young, and
Mm,
I think the co-environment also influenced my thought. My chitapa kept telling me, saying, you know what, with your patience and always the need looking at others, you should be a doctor, you should be in service industry. i
mm,
I also kind of associated myself there, but then my dad pulled up and he said, hey, I'm okay, but how much of money we have, don't think I'm going to buy you education. You have to earn your education. So
wow,
as
that's a
long
good
as
one.
you are able to get what you want, if you really want, you will go get it, right? Then go
Mm,
ahead with it. Also remember, medical course is a profession of service. If you pick it up, you have to be available for your patients any given point in time. There's no saying it's 3 in the morning, I can't help. So if
mm,
you are ready for it, go for it. At that point in time, maybe if it was choice given now, I would have still picked it up, Sam. But at that
mm,
point, I had my own fears, and with all that, then I thought, oh God, will I be able to do it? If I'm not going to get support from, it happens, right? When we keep thinking my father will help me somehow get what I want, and he said, no, you have to get what you want. So that shifted off to engineering. He was an engineer himself, a topper. When I say topper, Anna University first rank holder in his days. So
wow.
which kind of and he'd also given us that background of always asking us to solve problems. So we always had a technical inclination. So he said, choose your engineering, and then
Mm-hmm.
that will be a foundation. Science plays a foundational layer everywhere. So I picked engineering. So when I was doing this EDI, while I was in my engineering, right, I was so curious. So I have to quote this, right? So this innovation person at that point in time, I don't recollect his name, however, gave this concept. I was fascinated by it. The concept was, he said, in a battery, there are these carbon rods. You know
Mm,
what innovation is? Not to just think of it and throw it away. That rod is reusable. If there is a unit to, go collect those waste batteries, used batteries, and take the carbon, we can recycle the carbon and make something out of it. I was
mm,
like,
mm,
wow,
mm.
this is so different. And I went back to my dad saying, Dad, you know what? It's not about just the Ani Toys. So the name of the company my mom was having was called Ani Toys. I said, it's not about Ani Toys. I want to do something on my own. I think this idea is brilliant and I want to pursue. And my dad said, hold on, okay.
Hmm, hmm.
It's really great. You're passionate and everything. However, there has to be right blend of knowledge, experience, and then passion coming in, right? I don't want you to quickly jump onto into something and then fall down and learn your lessons by mistake. So he advised, you do whatever you want. I will not stop you, but finish your education. And when
Wow.
I did my engineering, he said, you have this vision on the larger business and helping grow in that aspect. Then again, learn your lessons. Engineering is a science foundation, but you will touch upon everything else in your management course, right? About people aspects, about finance aspects. So he guided us. So all three of us, we are three sisters, right?
Mm-hmm.
All three of us are B and MBAs, because he kind of guided us to say that will give you a holistic, basic foundational learning. And hence we
Okay.
did our MBA. And
what was the specialization in MBA? What was your like HR,
uh,
marketing, finance,
both marketing and finance.
marketing and finance? Now, can I just change the whole interview to a different aspect? Now, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? You're a girl, you did your engineering, you did your MBA, and then settling down and marriage and all. But tell me one thing. Many people say, "अरे यार ये लड़की से नहीं होता है." Why women should study? Why women should do all this? Because at the end of the day, she'll get married and she'll just go with her family. But you are a role model. I want you to stress a little bit because now during this pandemic, there's so many people at home, stuck at home. How did you balance from a girl to a woman, from a woman to a mother, from a mother to a relationship manager? That message to women, especially because people think that it's not possible. But
So
you know,
awesome question, Sam. So I would want to take two aspects to it, right? A, how are we managing balance? I will come to that. But one brilliant question that you asked was to say, hey, people say this women cannot do, and surprisingly, so before I start moving into the global market, right? When I say global market, seeing clients outside, I always thought it was probably that Indian mindset to say women can't do that. And
mm,
as I said, my mom had already broken the glass ceiling. She had gone through so many challenges, right, from our own relatives to say, hey, how can you be so aggressive? How can you talk to other men? So, but she set us an example. However, even when I went out, what I realized was our ecosystem, right? Our peers, co-workers, clients, there is still, not just in India, even outside the country. I have seen this as a global trend. I'm not saying this is generic, but I have seen specific examples where people treat their own wives. So I do not want to quote who this client is, but this client, in one particular incident, he said, you know what? I think my wife might be better than this. To say his wife was that bad, right? They
mm,
have this perception that women can't do. There has been so many times within my own organizations in my past, right? To say, why are they giving priority to these women? These people go off, they can't stretch in the night, they will not do things. But I know personally there have been few opportunities for me which they had quoted, she's a woman, she can't do it. Okay, and I did get to know from my leaders later to say, you know what, Anitha, while we recommended so much, the person felt we should not put a woman there, they
mm,
cannot do it, right?
mm,
But what I have seen is women, I'm making it generic, there can be exceptions, in general have few specific characteristics. One, which is really, really required in this world today, okay? Empathy.
mm,
However the science and work, women can connect better, okay?
mm,
Men talk, network, but do you really connect? I'm
mm.
not saying you don't connect, Sam, but my point is that is a inherent capability of being a
Great,
woman, right? Second
great.
thing, they are inborn multitaskers.
Mm,
Men focus,
mm,
women are able to multitask. Again, I think it has become an inherent skill which, as people move out, right? If you take at home, even at home, they're not just doing one task of cooking, they do cooking, cleaning, taking care
mm,
of kids, taking care of husband, a lot of times the finances. It's just this that that skill is ported out, while a lot of them, because of this mindset of the background cultural values, they're not able to see that. So it is not the women that they're saying can't do, but I think it's the cultural mindset which is shifting, which is very
yeah.
good. And so many of them have already broken the glass ceiling for us as inspirations, which has helped us move, right? And today I'm seeing a shift. When I'm seeing a shift, my current organization, Cognizant, one third is women, and
Wow.
now we're saying we need women leaders. So leaders in the industry have recognized, yes, you know what, they make a difference. Yes, it's challenging. If you look at the leadership level, that's again probably a women assuming or believing they have other priorities. That's where we will go to, and hence I need to focus there. I have a pressure to focus on my family and not on my career, right? And so while they start at the ground level, they really don't do that. So you can actually see a lot of them in their starting career, but in your leadership role, there are only very few. If I say 1 is to 10, that's not even fair. So if I am in a meeting of 10 people, I will most likely be the only woman. In Canada, I'm seeing it completely different. And I really loved it. Okay, here the ratio is different. I see a lot of women leaders on the table compared to the other this one, right? However, the difference is a lot of the Asian side of women, or even the Western world, there are some of them who are forced to believe that their priorities has to be home. So coming to your next one,
Okay.
Anita, so okay, how did you balance, right? Okay, one is the society saying women can't grow, and you're saying it is their perspective. That doesn't mean that I think that what they say is right, and so I just go with mine and I show value, and hence they see value. But if you're saying fine, so are you just a career woman? Does that mean you don't balance the rest, right? Because there are a lot of them who has to focus on family. No, the beauty of our life, Sam, is it is priority at that given point in time as when you want to do what. It also is a part of your belief system to be made. No, 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 no. If you're doing that, you should not be doing this. There are some of them who have that belief, right? You really need to break that belief. You can or you should be focusing on all aspects of your life. That's what gives you true purpose and that fulfillment, isn't it? To say, I
Yeah.
am a good mother. Being a good mother does not mean I spend 24 hours on my child. It means how do I help my child grow and also be independent, right? Bring the right mix. I also want to help the world, right? So, how do I balance that? So, when I spend my time of 24 hours, there are specific time when I help family. There are times when I focus on my career. So is it just about family career, Anita? No. If I don't grow, how do I help others? So there is a specific time which I keep for myself to grow myself, grow my knowledge, and
Okay.
then use this also to help others. So when you think, hey, you do your family, your work plus life coaching. Yes, because I want to help the world as well, right? So it's a blend. It is a priority. When my family needs it, I prioritize that. If my child is unwell, then I think that is my priority at that given point in time, right? At the
Good.
same time, when I'm able to give that gear to my child to be self-sufficient, my daughter is a lot more independent today compared to most of my peers. I will proudly say that because she cooks, she brings my coffee, she does everything. So, and I had some of my own good friends come and say, "That's bad, Anita. You're making an 11-year-old cook." I'm
Mm.
like, "No, I'm making her independent.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be here today or tomorrow. Nothing is in our control. But
Mm.
I'm making her grow, be self sufficient, be confident. And my responsibility of a mother does not mean I have to keep feeding my baby all the time, keep sitting next to them when they are studying to make sure, it's not that you have to be right next to them. So that really change in belief helped
Good. Good.
balance everything.
So, Anita, you know what? Your video is
Mm-hmm,
live, and your friends are watching it. Okay, so there's a good question which is coming up, and it's a very valid question. What skill sets got you here to be a successful person on a relationship manager? What skill sets? Because if you can tell this from your skill sets point of view, I'm sure
mm-hmm,
it'll be helping so many students, so many people. What
mm-hmm.
skill sets brought you to this level?
Okay, again, interesting. So let me make it as two aspects here. When you say skill set, which brought me just in my career journey,
Hmm.
and I will tell you the skill sets which made me more blissful. I am blissful every single moment, irrespective of the situation. I would want to help that as well, because if you're saying it's going to help others, I want people to feel blissful as well. First on career, as I said, when I started my foundation, it was engineering. My father was right that science and technology knowledge really got me an entry beyond the business that my mom was looking at into the larger corporate world, right? I started as a business analyst. And then I realized the communication skills were required. So all my leaders, all the way from my first job till now, have been saying, you have the good communication skills, which is very key and intrinsic to your role. What I realized is at the end of the day, it is all, we are not a single person, right? We are not in this thing to just do what we are to others. It is again an economy, even if it's business context, as to what we're going to serve the clients and how it is understood, and then how we translate back. So communication became key. And as I grew, the next set of skills. One was technology, then communication. What else? People skills. People, when
Yeah.
we are working as a team, right? When I say people skills, some of them think it is their peers. For me, it is up, down, right, and left,
Mm.
which means I need to be the same person or the same way to treat others all the way below me, and all the way above me, and my peers within my organization and outside my organization, right? So I really thought that made a big difference. Slowly, as I move from your business analysis, then into your program management, that's when I realized how much being connected and the people skills made a difference, including connected to your clients, including your team and everything. Um, and making sure communication, people skills went hand in hand. When I say went hand in hand, when you're doing a project management, right? I started telling my team, saying, because it's a global team, guys, there can be a 24 hours lag in what you know to what your peer in the offshore team knows, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And any delay beyond 24 hours is not acceptable. The reason being that is the communication. When we are working in a global environment and now post-COVID virtual environment, right? You can't afford to keep it just in your brain. It is a team, so you
Yeah.
have to start spreading. So those were learnings as I grew, and then how I had to shift.
Mm.
Now, being a relationship manager, this role is also fairly new for me. As I grew, what I realized was networking skills. That has become key, right? So, based on your role, as you grow up, networking, not just again with your clients. So, there has been few people who believe that I network with this person with this objective in mind. Then you're blinded. You're going like this. You're not looking around, right? What also through this journey I have learned, Sam, is that every person I am able to have my learning, not just from books, videos, it is the people I learn from, how they react, how they do things. So much of learning there. So, if you have to quote, Lord Shiva learned it from his own son, Lord Muruga, right? It
Yeah.
keeps yourself, my open. I am not talking to this person or networking this person, even if it's a client, just for a specific need, right? I want to be a listener. When I network, I'm keeping my open as a network, and it is a win-win. It is mutual. When I share something as a part of that connection network, because it's a larger universe, I always want to be cautious of their needs and provide help in any form at any given point in time. So it is not your client, it is not just your team, it is not just your industry. The networking across really
It's
helps.
important.
For all you know, I think that's networking is what connected you and me as well. Yeah.
True, true. Yeah, yeah. And we need to thank your team, your friends, Shobha Ganesh
Absolutely.
from UK. That's all. So I also believe, what good things you do, what goes around
Mm-hmm.
comes back to you, all the good things. So it was such a nice thing how
True.
you told about it. Can I just ask a totally different set of
Mm-hmm.
questions? Yeah. You and your
Mm-hmm.
sister, you told, even at a very young age, you used to just pack back and backpack and go to foreign, go abroad and tour. How did you guys do it? Because it's very difficult. Girls were not even allowed to get out of the house. Go to college, come back home.
Absolutely.
Go to college, come back home. Very protected. How did you guys do that? Can you just? It'll be a good motivation for
Wow.
so many women or girls.
I didn't know when I mentioned to this, but yes, there have been some of my fears, because now the kids are growing up as well, right? They are still scared to send their kids. And if you look, kids in their 12th standard, still parents go, no, 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 I need to
Yeah.
go drop. I've sent my daughter for this camp and I'm worried. Oh, is she okay?
Mm.
Again, I think it's my mom who broke that, right? I was in my seventh standard, 13 years old, 12 years old, I think 12 years old, and my elder sister was 16 years old. We had never gone anywhere outside the country at that point in time. Okay, my passport just came in. My mom came idea, hey, let's send the kids on a tour.
Hmm.
It was through Sita Travels. It was a travel company group tour, but from my family, it was just me and my elder sister. In fact,
Okay.
I even got lost in Hong Kong. Okay, my sister was scared. I I did find my way back, but I think we just lost each other. I went in one direction, she went in one direction, and then finally we all came back again. So there are a few things, right? We have to let, when we are always protective of the way that I think my mom grew us up, right? Even our kids. So I do not put those restrictions to my daughter because I want to give her that freedom. It's okay. They have to learn. And when you're always protected, it becomes a mindset for them to say
Yeah.
somebody is always going to take care of me. No. So she said,
Mm.
you have to go. But she did give us few tips on warning, saying, make sure you know your addresses, make sure you are able to talk to others and find, don't get caught, strangers. So she did give us few tips on how to handle and be in the world, real world. But
Mm.
at the same time, she let us experience it for ourselves. I think those were few smaller things which made us a lot more confident, right? Today, if
Sure.
I am seeing the confidence in me, that was few small things which my mother brought in. As
Yeah.
you rightly said, we are in a very protective parenting. I see
Yeah.
that, in fact, protective parenting is increasing so much these days. But if you have to get your children ready, truly ready for the world,
Yeah.
instead of protecting them, we just got to guide them. They
Wow.
need to be able to face the world, right? So I think that really helped us.
So I'm sure any parents who are hearing this from anywhere in the world, I'm sure it's a very good message which Anitha Deepak is telling. Rather than just being so protective, there's another word Anitha call as helicopter parenting. I don't know you heard of this. There are some parents like a helicopter. They keep roving around wherever the child is doing something. They just go down, pick him up. Always there. This generation can't take it. They just can't take if you're just going behind them every time and checking on them. What are they doing? Are you okay? So helicopter parenting, I don't think it is going to work now. Yeah. So that's the good message which people can see how two sisters just went out abroad, explored on themselves. Can we just switch the gear? What is that one thing which people don't know, what you know, that others don't know?
Wow. What is that one thing
What is that one thing which people don't know that you know, what others don't know about you?
about me?
Yeah, it's about you.
Nice. So this is completely life, okay?
Yeah,
Nothing on what this one is that. When you asked, hey, this was your career, and I did say, you know what, beyond that, there are things
yes.
beyond just your life and career.
Mm,
Interestingly, as a part of my self growth, I have, the universe has presented a lot of things for me in the right way, I would assume, to start
mm,
looking at the larger aspects of life, right? When I
mm,
say larger aspects of life, there are, I can't say nobody knows, there are very few close people who know. And if Shubha, if you're listening, she calls me Anitha Devi is coming out. Okay, but it's not really Anitha Devi. So what I started realizing of late,
yeah.
and which gave me the purpose of even doing this life coaching, is that
Okay.
it's not about you. It
Okay.
is just not about you. So
Mm,
what is it about, right? And as a part of your Maslow's theory, I also realized, and I'm able to relate to him to
mm,
say, yes, my, all your basic needs have been fulfilled,
mm,
and then your self-esteem and love, I have to thank my husband on this, right? He really made sure I had anything and everything that I need, okay, or more than that. Even before I asked for him, I was his priority. He did not keep himself as a priority, he kept me as a
wow,
priority.
that's a good
So
thing.
I could move up to the extent where we realize it's not about us.
Mm,
So anything that I learn and grow, I am also part of this larger ecosystem.
mm,
So you, me, anybody I have seen, I have not seen, right? So that connectivity, that synergy, which makes me
mm,
start looking at life differently. It's not just this, hey, 60 years, what is there in my bank balance? What is there? So it kind of shifted my outlook. Some of my close friends themselves are, I know it is a belief system, and but if you have shifted there, that is when this blissfulness comes, right? Because you're not looking at just a specific focus or a short-term goal, which is very you-centric. The minute you start thinking, I am here so that, and there is a bit of you also. You can't be without you. The selfish you is, I feel happy when I help others, right? How do I help others? I I feel I figured my life purpose of helping others. So this is something
Yeah.
which others probably don't know, that Anitha, she figured it out. What did she figure out?
Yeah.
I figured my life purpose is to share my knowledge and the growth and why I'm feeling blissful, how I'm feeling blissful, how is that radical shift in mindset and belief has changed my life, right? So not many of my own friends know that you can or be in that blissful state.
Wow.
I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, yeah, that's wonderful. So, quick questions, quick short. It should be only one word answer. It's a one word. Yes, no, no,
Okay.
yes. All right. Can others make you unhappy?
No.
Can you make others
Can I
happy?
can I use one more sentence for this,
Yeah,
if you're okay?
yeah.
So the quote that I keep, and being a parent, I believe sharing knowledge. If I want to share knowledge to the world, it starts at home as well, right? I can
Hmm.
just call my kids and ask, and every time I ask them this question, I would want every one of you watching, listening, to ask this question to yourself: is that, where does happiness come from? Within you or outside you? Where does anger come from?
Hmm.
Within you or outside you? My kids default now will start saying within you. I know they've not balanced their emotions yet, because literally if they're crying, Mama, Akka made me angry, then I'm like, hold on, Akka did this. But
Yeah.
anger, where does that come from? Within you or outside you? So it's not just me, Sam. I think
Hmm.
everybody I'm trying to say is that no,
Yeah.
it is a choice that you make. And if somebody is, if you are unhappy or happy, it's a choice that I make. I don't think anybody else around me can make that. I have not given that right for
Wow.
anything or anybody outside of me to control my emotions.
So that's where, Anitha, I say to people in my workshops, like, nobody can hurt you, nobody can disappoint you, nobody can make you sad without your permission, right?
Absolutely, you're spot on.
But you can make others happy without their permission.
Or
All
a
right. You see
smile,
the
which is
you,
contagious, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. You see the
Brilliant.
other story. You can make others happy without their permission, but
True,
nobody can
true.
make you sad without your permission. So if we know these things in life, I'm sure we all can be good. We all can be do easy. So Anitha, quick questions. What is your message to the young students who are, see, lot of, you were an entrepreneur, then you went into business, then you worked in IT, and you worked in different countries. What is a small message to the students of people who want to do entrepreneurship or people who want to work and be successful like you, both in the work-life balance? What's the message?
Okay,
Now,
because you're
keeping
saying
keeping
students, I'm
COVID in
just
mind.
relating it to relating it to my daughter, okay?
Yeah.
Because again, as a parent, she's student, she will go. One thing I keep reiterating to them is, baby, it doesn't matter if you are looking at your book, school, anything. Every single day. So, in fact, yesterday I told her you have to journal it, okay? Is
Hmm.
that, make sure you have a learning, there is a knowledge. It can be on anything. So she comes and tells me, Mama, can it be on arts? I'm like,
Hmm.
absolutely, it's okay. But it should not be something that you have known already, right? Then that's not learning, that's just revising. And then she says, then can I draw something? I said, no, that you're creating.
Yeah.
So only when you learn and then you create. But every single day, if you grow, we're all here to evolve. If you want to evolve, make sure there is a small bit of learning. And if you're able to track that as you grow, that's profound. You will see the transformation within you. Learn,
And what you
have a new
said,
side of knowledge.
you're saying journal, write down. See, do you know the this is this is my calendar. Can you see bloodshed everywhere?
Oh boy.
This is July.
Yes.
All right, this is
Hmm.
August. It's already full. You get in point. So I write it like, this is. I'll show another very crazy thing. Can you see this pad? All right, everything is
Oh my God.
written, written, written. This is all for
You are
today,
a busy
tomorrow. Right?
man, Sam.
No, no. Can you see the dates? Dates, time.
Yes.
Oh God.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it helps me because I know it's very outdated policy writing down. and then putting in the net, but it helps me. It helps me a lot every day. What is my purpose in life? All right. So thank you for
Awesome.
bringing the point out that, journaling, writing down, because many people just go to the bed with something, chalo yaar, aaj ka din ho gaya. Yeah. But that's a good message what you gave. Any other thing you want to tell to the young students who are studying with a lot of hope? And what is that? Now it's COVID. So what do you want to tell them? Any student who's
Again,
studying.
the same thing. I'm relating back to my own kids because these are messages I keep passing on to them, right? Like how my mom grew us some this thing I make sure they know is that there is always a choice, right? There is
Mm,
abundance in this world, abundance on anything that you want to
mm,
do. It is just this that
mm,
instead of looking at it like this, like the dots with this thing on the eye, open it up, unleash yourself, look at the possibilities. There is
mm,
always abundance of opportunity, and it is a choice that you make, right? Every single time there is a choice. Don't limit yourself to putting boundaries saying, hey, this is all that is possible and hence I am stuck. No, you have to unstuck yourself, unleash yourself. Then you will be able to see the abundance of opportunity that's present. Not pre-COVID, post-COVID. It is always there in the universe. The universe is too big. We are so minuscule, right? And the situation is also so minuscule. Would
mm.
you let that stop you?
No, no.
No, right? So there is so much. It's just this that you need to keep an open mind. The mind really plays a big factor here to say, keep myself open on opportunities, on thoughts, on beliefs, everything. Don't go with a preconceived judgmental notion.
Mm,
Nothing is right or wrong. At the same time, nothing is big or too small. When I say big or too small, culturally, I also feel people belittling certain aspects of career. But if you see the Western world, irrespective of the career they choose, they are respected. So the respect comes from within you, right? You do, if others do not see it the way that you expect them to see, it's okay. It's them. It's not you.
yeah,
So do and feel what you truly feel like doing. Opportunities are abundant.
cool. So
Don't
when you
let
say
yourself to believe I'm stuck.
good, good. When you say opportunity, there are people who say, "Hey, opportunity knocks, so make use of the opportunity. It's knocking your door." I say, Anitha, if opportunity is not knocking the door, man, create a new
You
door. What is wrong? Simple. Huh?
wow.
If opportunity is not knocking the door, create a new door, boss. कौन मना कर रहा है यार? Who's stopping you? यार சொல்லிட்டு ஒன்று பண்ண முடியாதுண்ணே. போயிட்டே இரு வாழ்க்கையில அவ்வளவுதான். There's nothing we have to think about. Opportunity is knocking the door. That's one.
True.
Because I'm just getting back from your talk, and many people say, I'm upset in life. I'm upset now. There's COVID. I'm upset. Classes are online. I'm upset about my job and placement. So what I learned from your talk is, if you are upset, there's a simple formula. If you are upset, just set it up.
Wow.
Don't need to
True.
do MBA for this. Two words, upset, just set it up. You're upset with your parents, set it up. You're upset with your boss, set it up. You're upset with your life, set it up. There's no other way to set up extra way. So I want to tell all of you, it's such a great joy that Anitha Deepak is giving us by giving her life anecdote. So at last, can I tell, can we just want to know from you, so you were in India, grew up in India, studied in India,
Mm-hmm.
went to Europe, lived there, then went to Canada, then went to US. You had this multicultural. What is the message you want to tell the viewers? Because cultural sensitivity is so important. Yeah. So what is the message you want to give, at least to the students? Because everybody wants to study and go to US, go there, go there, go there. What is it you learned which we need to learn from that cross-cultural experience? For example, I know I travel a little bit, but it's so beautiful to see how they respect each other. For example, you go to France, you just want to ask somebody, hey, does this train go there? Does it go there? In India, we just straight away go and ask, "Yappa, idu Tamara pogudha?" We straight away go and ask. But there, without saying bonjour, without wishing good morning, you just can't talk. Anybody, it is like
Yes.
you need to wish. And so, what are the small, small things we need to know? All right.
So, which is true, Sam, whether you look smaller or larger globally, right? Every region we should also be aware that, hey, when I come from some place, we all say namaste, right? Shaking hands has come from the Western world for us, but that somebody really had to break through in a generation, if you had to see, right, few years back.
Mm.
And if you don't shake hand, the Western world used to think it's rude,
Yeah.
because that's how they were meant to, their cultural mindset is. So we need to be aware. We also need to know each geography is different, right?
Mm.
If you go to UK, they have a specific set of values, like how we have been brought with some tradition. They have certain traditions in mind, and definitely knowing that and blending and adapting to that will be one of your success factors, right? Where you're going,
Wow.
just be conscious. If you are not really able to adapt, if you had told them, but you should definitely know what their cultural ecosystem is.
Yeah.
And if you express it, to say, rather than being rude, but just saying, what, we come from this belief, I understand, but your cultural belief. So then they understand, they don't think of you as rude. Even now, if you, again, as I said, right, there is a discrimination, women cannot go shake hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is still absolutely okay. Now COVID, all these corporates themselves, even in North America, they started, please don't shake hands. Okay. We don't want that anything to pass on. So they're doing it on COVID. But there are times when if you go and say namaste, people are still happy, they don't do it. At the same time, set the
Yeah.
to say, this is our habits. I have not come across things that have been a negative impact on me. However, I have read and heard certain habits in our culture
Mm.
does not align with the European or the Western world, and they think it is rude. So
For
if you
example,
go and
can
tell
you
them,
quote an example? An example. Can you quote an example?
no, the small things like when I say, hey, hi, hello, right?
Mm.
Um, if it is not in a professional context, and if you start getting too casual, people come and hug you, okay? And it is okay. It is them. And while in our mindset, we are like, we don't do that, right?
Ayo,
That's how we have been brought up.
yeah.
If you come and if somebody offers you a drink, right? If it's a happy hour, they come and offer you a drink. And if you say, hey, no, 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 and they think, oh no, you're disrespecting them, right? But if you actually put it saying, you know what, where I come from, so I don't drink because of these, then they respect that.
Right.
Otherwise, the minute you just say, hey, no, and I have known some of my peers who react absolutely differently also, and they don't understand, right? To say, how come, how dare he ask me to drink? What is he thinking of me? How dare, that's been our perspective. So we probably you also need to understand that the way that we have been brought up is so different from the way they have been brought up. What is okay for them need not be okay for us. What is
True.
okay for us need not be okay for them.
True.
If you can let them know upfront, there will be a mutual understanding, there won't be any conflicts, and that's how you start learning or living in that ecosystem, right?
Yeah. So can I say beyond a point, there is no point in life. We as an individual, we need to keep a point. Are you thinking what I'm saying? I
No,
repeat again.
I know what I'm trying to say.
I repeat again. Beyond a point. I tell this to my students, they just like, it takes the time for them, See, I say as a youngster,
Mm-hmm,
beyond a point, there should not be any other point. For example, I'm going to play music. Okay. I'm a musician,
mm-hmm,
but there's a time. Okay.
mm-hmm,
I'm going to play sports. Beyond a point, there's no point. Okay. I have friends, I have boyfriends, girlfriends everywhere. Okay. Beyond a point, there's no point. All right. So if all of us can keep a boundary to us, to our thinking, to our work, and I'm sure
mm-hmm.
be in Rome, you know, while you're in
Absolutely.
Rome, and
Be
I'm
a
sure,
Roman while you're in Rome is
yeah, that's a good one. And you coming from India, and that too from South India, from Chennai, Madras, being so traditional, you breaking, and we should give hats off to your mother for bringing up girls, in that way and giving you that maturity. And I'm sure if this message, anybody can take it. All right, if Anitha Deepak can do it. And you know what? The last thing we just want to hear from you, from IT person, professional to a life coach. You're coaching so many people, and that is something which is saving a lot of good things for you. How did you get into this coaching, and why coaching? You can just be like anybody else, aram se go work, get money, and just live. What is this life coach? How did you get into this?
So remember, Sam, when you asked what is that one thing that your world doesn't know, is that um, when I went through this journey, and as I said, the hierarchy really worked for me. I had all my needs fulfilled.
Mm,
And in terms of career, I know people can start looking at, I want to grow bigger, I want to grow bigger. So there was some point where nothing made me feel better. Literally nothing made me feel better. When I say nothing made me feel better, promotions, I was like, okay, I'm promoted. Recognitions, I'm like, okay, thank you. And I can quote Ajish, you on this. Ajish is one of my peer, but a leader in my own company. He was like, Anitha, I think we need to get you Brian's CEO award for this. And Brian is our CEO, Cognizant CEO. And I'm like, probably that is not going to impact me. He's like, why not? Who will not to have
mm,
a CEO? What I'm like, see, if that's going to motivate somebody else among our peers, I'm happy to give that off. Why? Because
okay.
at that point it was, I recognize myself, right? If
Yeah.
for what you are, and I keep telling my husband saying, whether you take any superstar personality, Rajni to Ambani to anywhere, there will always be two perspectives. One is always going to be saying good things about you, the other one is going to be saying bad things about you. So as I said, I don't want to keep myself reflecting, and I think it just transformed as I evolved. So but that there was a stagnation, right? What more? So I was having this conversation with my friend Malini, saying, Malini, I don't know. I have this urge in me to feel that something more, but nothing. My husband comes and gives me crores in my hands, and I'm like, okay, right? But because it doesn't make me feel anything more excited, because looks like I already have everything.
Mm,
He showered so much of love. Yes. And at times he says, really, why are you not
mm,
so? Because I feel already contented, already fulfilled. So what do I do more? And that is the difference when you ask from your career to what is a transformation shift. I really spent good 2 years. But I'm lucky that I found my life purpose now, Sam. But there was a time when I was seeking, searching. My
mm.
friend Malini introduced me into pranic healing, saying, Anitha, maybe look at this. So I want to quote this book, okay, Autobiography of a Yogi by Yogananda
Autobiography.
Paramahansa. So
Okay.
this made a big shift in
Mm,
mindset for me, right, to start looking at things. So this again came because another friend of mine, Shalu, and I used to meditate together, and then she kind of introduced me into a few things, and that's how I stepped up on this book. But I read this book, and after I read the book, my life shifted. I started seeking. I really started even asking few people, are there gurus? What should I be doing? And she introduced me to pranic healing. Malini introduced me to pranic healing. I did go.
is this the one
I wanted to feel.
which you want?
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, okay. So maybe audience can also make a note of it. The book which inspired Anitha Deepak and made a difference. What is so good
Oh,
about this?
no, big difference in my life. The transformation started with this book. Maybe
Mm,
it was
mm,
happening in my environment, but for me to start reflecting, right? So what is the difference in this book is it starts looking at you um, beyond just yourself. As I said, hey, we are part of the larger, even the energy ecosystem. It's not just the physical aspects of you, me. There is so much profound behind you. And
mm.
it also tells, many great gurus and masters, spiritual teachers also say that do not accept anything just because I am telling you, unless
Okay.
until you are able to feel it, right? Just because I am telling you, this is the right spiritual practice, we're all souls from the larger universal, single soul, single source, don't believe it.
Mm,
Okay, that's what I'm telling you, but don't believe it
mm.
unless until you feel it. So somehow when I read through this book, I was able to connect and relate to say, I am not a single individual, so it is not about me, the larger ecosystem. And if you look at all these people, and we're all connected,
Yeah.
you and I are connected, Sam, you
Yeah.
and my family, not just my family. So it's not just about
Yeah.
my family, it's the larger universe. And
Yeah.
there is a reason why you have taken this birth, and probably you leave the physical body. There is an evolution that happens. How
Yeah.
did we evolve from monkey to human being to a lot more? So we're all here for an evolution, right? So all those gave a completely different context to say, I am not here, it's not about me. I am here to be part of the larger journey. And if that larger journey has to be profound, I need to be helping others. So when Rani introduced me to pranic healing, I did attend soul classes and few other things, beautiful, brilliant. Then I came back and told Marley, maybe being an energy healer is not my thing, right? So I went and I did so many things, and then I realized it was not my thing. But what then I realized was, as I was meditating one day, and was that, hey, I have always helped some of my friends through helping through their emotional states, right? Just by talking to them, guiding them, not by advising them. So one good thing was I don't advise people as long as specifically advice is asked, but asking them the questions so that they realize what they're thinking is right or wrong. So this was one. And then I have to thank Cognizant as well, right? Exposed to a course to help us as leaders, coaching as a leadership style. That's when Dr. Ram Guru came in picture.
Mm.
He's a monk as well as a coach, one of the executive leadership coaches in ICF, right? He picked and he specifically said, you have an inherent skills of a coach. So what are those? To say, so we used to have these mock sessions as a part of the coaching session. Okay, so you used to ask me to go talk to someone and see. Uh, so there was a default connect that was coming because you feel what others feel, right? Unless until you feel connected, the other person is not going to really start opening up. Otherwise they'll go with their belief and not being, they would think you're judgmental. So those skills started coming up, and you have to listen. I think I did quote this book to you earlier as well, Sam. The next book was Just Listen,
Yes.
which made a
Yeah.
big difference. Right? So that is one key skill which really helps you, not just from a coaching, even at home. Don't you have to listen, not just with your ears, but be open minded and listen, being neutral to your family, to your friends, to your peers, to your clients, right? So it made to say you don't have to be talking, you have to be listening, you have to be observing, right? So
This is the
that
one you
made the
said
next difference
by
to,
Mark Goldstone.
yes,
Yes, it is.
yes.
Oh, good,
So
good.
these two made a difference, and Dr. Ramguru was the one who kind of even shifted my perspective, saying, you know what, I will also guide you, coach you for you to
Mhm.
reach there. At the same time, if you want, I can start getting you clients, and he does for corporate one as well. He doesn't take a single penny. He charges extremely high, but he doesn't take a single penny because he's a monk and he goes to the monastery, which I think is a great service as well, right? But that's how I started feeling, you feel good when it's your true life purpose, right? When you feel that that's your passion gives you money, and also it helps address the needs today more than earlier. There is a need that people's mindsets need to change. There are so many teenage kids who are getting suicidal, right? There's
Mm.
sheer stress and pressure because culturally people have been taught to look at others, associate yourself with others, and hence follow their path, right? A fish is literally asked to fly. Hey, can you see the bird on top of the tree? It's flying. Why are you not flying? Is the uh, somehow, unfortunately, culturally, that they've been taught through, right? So
Yeah.
it kind of shifted me, and hence people are all stressed. The fish starts crying, my mom wants me to fly, I can't fly, I just have fins, I don't have wings, right? So it helps me to go back and start shifting, saying, okay, let it fly, hold on, what do you want to do, right? What are your skills? You have
Yeah.
fins, you're going to be amazing, you can swim through oceans. So but not really telling them, but making them realize, oh, I don't have wings, why would I fly? I have fins, let me swim,
Yeah.
right? So those are the differences that we could bring in people. So when
Wow.
I can see my clients, my coachees transform, and when they feel really happy, I feel satisfied now. Remember, I told you a few years back, I was like, what? I'm having everything. There can be no other person more blessed than me. But still, isn't something missing in my life? Now I have nothing missing because I am able to be happy through the difference, the positive difference that you're able to make in others' life.
Good. So maybe all the audience, wherever you're listening from, once the video is over, in the description, we will give Anitha Deepak's LinkedIn, her coaching. I'm sure she can coach you, she can guide you. And Anitha Deepak, in the chat, some of your friends are telling the title of the talk should be Transformation from Anitha to Anitha Devi. All right. The, the title of the topic should be
Good one.
Transformation
I
from
think I know
Anitha
who this person is, right?
to their.
I did mention her saying now she started calling me. Now the Anitha Devi is coming out.
So no, that's such a
It
good
is not the Anitha Devi coming out, but that is the law of the
law.
universe. We
Yeah.
are here to be blissful. We are here for a purpose. And the minute you know that,
So
every one of you, if I can feel that, you can feel that.
wow. So can I just tell that recap in a way? See, last night was the last night for many people. Last night was the last night for many people. Maybe for ill health or COVID. But if you and me woke up this morning, we are awake, we are alive, we are able to breathe air. You're trying to say is, hey, we have a purpose in our life. We have a purpose. We are
Absolutely.
awake means we have a purpose. We have life, we have purpose. And yeah, when you have life and when something hits you, you know the pain. There are pains because you're still alive. All right. Who will know after you die? There will be pains when you're alive. Yeah. And if you go with that pain, I'm sure it's going to gain. And you're trying to say that, hey, let's just be happy with what we have and make others happy. And let our life be more meaningful, more blissful, because you're just saying, hey, be happy with what you have and make others' life happy. So if this interview, if this talk of Anitha Deepak has touched you or spoken, just go down, go to her email. We'll give her email. We'll give her LinkedIn. Get connected to Anitha Deepak. I'm sure she might be of help to you, or she can give some transformation to you, or you never know how these coaches, they just transform people. And thank you so much, Anitha, from your college days to your school days to a entrepreneur to a businesswoman. Your entire life is a good message. So I hope if all the women, you see, she's both a parent and a relationship manager. All right. It's not easy going to Canada, sitting. I still remember you said you first went there, you set up everything, you took a home, and then brought the family to Canada. Am I right? So it's such a.
Yes, that's true.
So did I put the context correct? Yeah. Just be happy with what you have.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Oh, yes, right. It's all how you think. Absolutely, you're spot on.
yeah, yeah. And I want to close this. I know it's a little funny, but I'll tell you. All right. What others think about me is not my problem, right? Yeah. What I think about myself is my problem. Yeah. Now,
Exactly. I think that's the message.
now I just want to tell so many people say, sir, in my office, I'm not happy. That person is not happy with me. He always sees me down. Now this, like that. You know what? My simple message. I don't know. You can second that. The best way to deal with a person who is not happy with you in the office at home, anything is be more happy in front of the person who is not happy with you.
Sam,
Be
I'm not going to second that.
be more no be,
However, what I'm going to say is
be more
it is not
happy.
about others, right? Like what you said, it is not about others. If you are thinking you are not happy because the other person put you down, it means
Mm,
you are not happy because you put yourself down.
internally.
So
Yeah.
you are seeing yourself through the eyes of others. Is that what you want to be? Is that what you are? Right? Which
Mm,
means you don't believe in yourself. So put your belief system up. If you think you're not there, grow yourself. Right? It's okay. It's okay. We all are born. We learn ABCs and we go wherever you are. So it is not about others. It's okay what others say and think. Everybody's going to have a perspective. But is that other you? No.
yeah.
Would they know what you really are? No, it's their perception. The
Good.
only person who can know you is you.
Wow. And you know what? Your people who are watching, your best buddies, your friends, There's Mr. Ganesh from UK. He says you are a true inspiration. She is a true inspiration, and it's a beginning of her inspiring journey. And I'm sure you have long way to go, and your friends are always there. That you have been an inspiration for them. Mr. Ganesh, I'm sure you know from UK, the UN and the
Thanks,
WHO.
Ganesh. I know, definitely, and he has made a big difference in the way that I start seeing as well. All right.
Sure, sure.
Ganesh is from NGO, so all through the life, this messaging which has subtly come to me is about serving others, which
Mhm.
made a profound difference. And then I started relating. Right, there are so many of them who keep their life and career in service of others, and that's why you can see those happy, blissful people.
Yeah, yeah. I was so surprised. We had a chat with him last week, just a casual Zoom meet. Such a
Mhm.
high profile person, all right, and his profile, Chief Happiness Officer, which is so good at WHO, at the UN, at such a top position. So humble, so down to earth, and we need to thank God for getting connected to us. You never know how God has connected all of us. So good, good. Anitha, Deepak, thank you so much. I'm sure it's, I don't know, let me see the time. Oh goodness, it's 1 minute, 1 hour, 5 minutes. Yeah. So
Oh, that was too long. I didn't think it was too long.
good,
I
good, good.
absolutely enjoyed chatting with you, Sam. Thank you so much for this. All right.
So with your
Uh,
permission, I will put your email in the description. I'll put your LinkedIn,
sure.
and audience, wherever you are, please get connected, because uh, having good network is very important. And having people like Anitha, it's a great joy to all of us. May many people get inspired by you, Anitha. Many women, many girls, many family, students especially can learn a lot. And your interview is going to be one session for my students. Okay, so they have to go, they have to
Awesome.
read, they have to listen, and give comments. You'll get a lot of comments down soon. You can keep checking.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See, one thing I want to say is I am happy to help, right? Anybody, anywhere you think you need help, please reach out. Don't think I don't know her. Will she be available? Is the time not right? I am willing to help. Just pick up the email, phones, whatever that you think you are able to reach me. If you need help, I am there. I can be reached. I'm happy to help anytime, anytime.
Wonderful. Okay. So good. Thank you so much, Anita, for taking your time. Thank you for being a source of inspiration. And I hope this message of happiness can grow. And we need people like Anita, Deepak, to make happiness contagious. You see her talk, it's contagious. All right. It's not COVID contagious, it's Anita contagious. It's happiness contagious. All right. So thank you so much. Take care. We wish your family good luck, your kids. We all, Deepak, tell them that be safe. Thank you so much for your time. Yeah.
Thanks, Sam. God bless
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Namaskar. Thank you. Vanakkam. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.